everyone, this is Ellie of Herbcraft by Ellie Apothecary, here with another timeless tarot, oracle, and possible astrology read. I am a psychic medium, I own an apothecary, and I do tarot now. I go deep. I give you multiple exit points throughout the reading, so if you'd like to save it later and possibly check in at another time, I find that sometimes you'll get multiple messages that way. Just follow your intuition, and per usual with any reading, call your energy back at the end. And if you don't know how to do that, check out some of my other content where I talk about spiritual discussions. I'm having some tea today, a little congested. What are you drinking today, if you are snacking on whatever? Today happens to be Beltane, or Walpurgis Night. Walpurgis Night. Different pronunciations. That's the Germanic version of Beltane, the Celtic celebration. And interestingly enough, I pulled the Hawthorne card from one of my decks, the Hedge Witch's Field Guide. I was doing doing all my pre-shuffles and cleansings of my decks to get ready, and two cards came out. So this one, Hawthorne, and it says Sacred on it. And the herbal Latin name is Crataegus monagna. Hawthorne happens to rule Beltane. It is a Beltane plant, and Beltane is a pagan solstice. It is a thinning of the veil, just like Samhain in October in the States, in the Northern Hemisphere. I am recording from my woodland backyard the afternoon after Beltane Eve. For those of you that dig ASMR, I did a 7-minute and a 2-ish minute ASMR clip of the fire last night, and the frogs were going absolutely nuts. It was so beautiful. I live in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and I have a really laid back way of doing tarot, so get comfortable and take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Don't try to make stuff fit. When I talk about signs, like astrology signs, or I talk about gender representations in the tarot, know that I'm talking about energy, and I'm not talking about specific people. However, if you get the sense, if it reminds you of somebody as I'm describing a certain trait, then apply to your situation how it does fit. Trust your intuition. Anyways, so this was one of these cards, Hawthorne, that wanted to come out, and this is, again, from the Hedge Witch's Field Guide by Thompson. And I felt called to read on it and get the read started. I also pulled from, what is this? The Enchanted Blossoms Oracle by Carla Morrow. Those are the ones I've worked with in the past that have the butterfly and dragon and flower on it. The card that I pulled from that deck, and again, these just kind of shot out. I work with spirit, so I channel for spirit. I wanted to leave kind of a personal note. I know some of you want me to get into the reading, and I'm going to, but here's the thing. This is a bonus reading on Beltane, so I'm going to take my time. And if you're not in the mood, again, save for it later, or thank you for stopping by. Please give it a like, comment, or subscribe. Alright, so, yeah, this, it looks like here we're going to talk about sacred truth, apparently, because the truth card is the card I pulled from Morrow's deck. And it says Bittersweet Nightshade and Morning Cloak. Those are the flower and the butterfly. And I thought I would pull up the books for these. I did a lot of talking this week, and I'm having some bad allergies, so I'm raspier than usual. Again, I'm drinking tea, so I'm sure I'll be fine. I also just used some of my my shop pine oleo resin. It's what I put in my salves, harvested here on my land. Anyways, let's see if we can find this truth card. I love it when stuff is alphabetical in guidebooks. We're going to get into the tarot after I look into these. I felt called to speak on them. If you're interested in the music, my Spotify profile is in the description box, along with links to book with me, my IG, and more. I usually put playlists down there too that are relevant to the reading. So this is a bonus Beltane reading. I did promise my community subscribers that I would be sharing a bonus read if I could, so this is it. The playlist I'm listening to, I think, is the instrumental playlist, I believe. Yeah, so the truth card here, and I'll take a picture of this and make it the image. If y'all would like me to start putting the images in the community tab, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you celebrated Beltane, or, well, first not, did you have fun, first of all? I mean, come on now. It's Beltane, right? It's the night of the fairies. Some people even say sometimes they see Pan, which is cool. I haven't seen Pan yet, but you never know. You never know what next year will bring, right? I actually ended up ending my night doing some Bushido practice. I work with a staff. I have some martial arts background, and I only really work with it when I feel the need to transmute the energy. And that's another thing about my readings. I've had a few people tell me that I transmute their emotions through the experience and give them a lot to think about. So if you don't like to be insightful, I'm probably not your reader, and that's cool. I mean, you know, I don't do competition. I just show up as myself, and that's not to say that I'm an arrogant ass. It's that I come from a background of having to fight to become who I am, and now I don't fight anymore. So the way I look at it is, sure, there's a flood of readers on YouTube, but there's also a lot of unique people out there who have something special. I have a community spotlight playlist where I share other readers I happen to enjoy that I think they have good messages. So if you want to check out that, go ahead. Also, at the end of this video, I will link Divine with Me, my Timeless Tarot Readings playlist. I also have another one in the description box, probably I'll put that there, called Channeled Messages. So it's like my readings plus just straight channels that came to me from Source Consciousness. Go very quantum sometimes, so stay with me. If you're genuinely curious about something I've touched on, go ahead and leave me a comment. And yet again, please share with me how you celebrated for the occasion. Now we can get back into the reading, okay? So the flower is Bittersweet Nightshade. I'm going to do my best to pronounce all these properly. Solanum dulcamara. The butterfly is the morning cloak. Nymphalis antiopa. Getting very goth vibes from the truth card. I'm not going to read the history on it, but there's a question here, and it's on page 100 and 101. Might be synchronistic for somebody. Maybe you're giving 100% to something, or you've got just a little bit more than enough for yourself, plus your 100%. And I just looked at the clock, and it is 3:33, so that's cool. What are my main truths today? So what are your main truths today? What do you resonate with? about yourself, about your concept of the world. How about sacred truths, right? What are some truths you know, like maybe some values that you have that ring true to you? Some ways of life that really feel sacred to you? What are some things, some beliefs? That's a good journal prompt for you if you like to journal. So the hawthorn, May blossom, maythorn, quickthorn, whitethorn, mother dye, and ha. Not like aha, like ha. Like hawk, but no K. Got it? Cool. I apologize for the planes. They come and go during the week. They're traffic control for the mountain, but I don't have any other kind of traffic, so you know, it's gonna happen every now and again. So the haw is the edible part of the hawthorn berry, and they are red berries. Some of you know they're like a Christmas berry. And yes, you can turn them into jams and jellies and syrups. And over here on page 91, it says hawthorn is the tree of Beltane, a holiday celebrated on the 1st of May, and a time when it is said the seen and unseen worlds meet. Hawthorn plays a strong role in many folkloric traditions and is considered a tree sacred to the fairies, as well as being the wood of choice for witches' broom. Shout out to all my pagan friends out there, all my fellow witches. And if you're intimidated by the fact that I'm pagan, that's alright. Know that you're welcome if you have different beliefs. I'm a non-denominational channel. I work with spirit, and spirit isn't everything I believe, so, you know, as long as you're kind to me, we're all good. So Beltane can also talk about the legend of the Fairy Queen. From the hawthorn bush. If you're interested in me giving more herbal lore conversations or weaving in witchery to these readings, like talking about the different properties of plants and different energies, I'd love to expand in that way. My channel's still young, but I am creatively abundant, and I'm also an herbalist and a folk practitioner, both for plant medicine and also spiritual purposes. So here it says that the hawthorn is sacred because its prominent place in magical traditions. Ask yourself how the word sacred applies to your life. And it's here, it says your value system can be sacred. It can help you create a hierarchy of importance and place emphasis on whatever is most valuable in your life. I was just talking about truth, so I'm already channeling into the message for everybody. Alright, I think it's time to get into the tarot. Let me just set this aside. I'll leave these cards out. I'm working with my standard collective tarot deck, the Cosmic Tarot. I also have the Herb Crafters Tarot. Apologies, the shuffling might be loud for some, so, you know, take off headphones if you don't like that, if it's too loud. I did put a blanket under my, for my cards so they don't bang as much on my patio table for y'all. Alright, I also have the Cosmic Energy Oracle. I felt called to also bring out the Black Moon Astrology deck. And then I have a little mini Star Seeds Oracle. So I've got a really good variety here. My collection's kind of small in comparison. I purchased these mostly for learning and personal use over the last 8 years. And now I'm starting to weave them into my readings. So I read reversals. Again, take energy as energy, not specific representations. If I use masculine or feminine pronouns, we're talking about either assertive or receptive energies. And then I also like to spread awareness that there's also neutral energies in everyone and everything. You know, there's that liminal space. And the fairies are all about the liminal space, and we are in the energy of the day after the Beltane celebrations. So if you hear any in the background recording, do let me know. I use descriptive audio if I look into oracle cards. I call out every card so you're not missing a thing, alright? Thank you if you're still here. Again, go ahead and drop a heart in the comments. The engagement does help the channel. Oh boy. Well, it looks like my fire people are back in the house. Welcome, welcome. First 3 cards out. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, I feel an intensity building. So if you're not in the mood for that, again, save this video for later or check out my other readings. Because we pulled the pulled the 6 of Wands in reverse, the Queen of Wands in reverse, 9 of Wands upright, and then I just pulled the Hanged Man in reverse. It seems that you've had a perspective change on how you may have sabotaged yourself, got stuck up in your wounds, and thinking that you were powerless in a situation when you were not. And this is now a sacred truth to you. Maybe you don't want everybody to know that. Wow. And it has to do with personal wish fulfillment because the 9 of Cups just came out. And the Ace of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups is usually a really big love offering or a possibility to do a creative project. But in reverse means that it hasn't been given, or it was rejected or taken away, or maybe you feel like your wishes were taken away because of this revelation that you had. Yeah, okay, it's the end of a karmic cycle, but you're through it. I did another reading called the Wheel of Fortune, and we just had the Wheel of Fortune come out in reverse. So that's either refusing to turn the wheel or turning the wheel yourself. I feel like in this particular instance you turned the wheel because you had a perspective change. And then the 4 of Pentacles came out, so that tells me that you also have figured out where your foundation lies. Yeah, 3 of Cups. You want to celebrate this. You want to have fun. Yeah, especially with the 3 of Swords in reverse, and I just saw the Lover's card on the deck. I'm going to take it with the 3 of Swords. So, 3 of Swords is heartbreak and betrayal and all that, but it's upside down, so you are out of it. You've concluded a major karmic cycle. Be very proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. Again, this is for multiple people and the collective. The collective is everyone. But sometimes, like when you like a video, an energy transference happens, which means I pick up on your energy more. If you comment on the videos, your energy becomes more dominant in the readings. It sounds like a gimmick, but I've actually experienced this personally before I decided to adopt the philosophy and start talking about it. So yeah, if you want to be a part of this community and you like my vibe, please subscribe. Hit the like button. And I just pulled the 4 of Wands card next to the Lovers. Maybe you found a new love. Maybe you found something else that is the choice for your celebrations. And 4 of Wands can represent a big celebration, like buying a house, having a wedding, having a big party, the foundation of spiritual beliefs. But then we pull the 8 of Wands in reverse. So something's keeping you from moving full steam ahead on something that is really powerful for you. Five of Pentacles, so it could be a lack mentality. Yeah, Two of Wands in reverse. Maybe it's something you tried to manifest and it didn't work out. King of Cups. Wow, okay. Hold on one sec. With the Six Cups. Wow. Whew! Judgment in reverse. Holy cow. This is... Eight of Swords in reverse. Wow, wow, wow. That's so cool. Okay, 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 okay. So, hold on one sec, one more. Two of Cups. Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm getting full body chills right now. I am getting full body chills. Wow. So the King of Cups is, it's a very emotionally intelligent king. Represents usually Scorpio energies, but it could also represent other water signs with a masculine energy. And usually the King of Cups is someone who deeply loves somebody, admires life, and is solid and reliable. And this king is looking right over at the Six of Cups. Kind of like this, the Six of Cups usually rolls like a soulmate connection. It represents deep love, emotional connection, spiritual connection. It can also represent somebody from your past, either in this lifetime or another. I do believe in past lives and reincarnation. So, in a positive, this king is looking over like at this nostalgia, at this deep love bond, and it's just very endearing and loving. And the Judgment card in reverse means that you've just come out of an awakening. And my other readings from the last couple months or so really follow this. Like I said, I call them tarot quests because it's quite a journey that we're having. I'm finding that a lot of my readings link to each other. And because they're collective, this is a collective theme. And I'm also a professional astrologer, so I can kind of pick up on energies, both astrologically, psychically, and using tarot as a spiritual guide to kind of help people understand. So a lot of people are going to resonate. Exactly how it fits in your life may mean something different. Like, if this isn't about a loving soulmate connection, it could be something you created in the past that you were really fond of, that made you feel that deep emotional connection with yourself. And maybe this was a part of your awakening with the Judgment card in reverse. And it's like you had to find a way to access this heart space. Because the King of Cups is also the King of Hearts in traditional playing cards. And then we have the Eight of Swords in reverse over here. So you got out of your head after this awakening. Wow, that is huge, because some of the energies I've been picking up on have been kind of stuck up in their head. And you know, some people are more intellectual than others. Other people have legitimate anxiety disorders, and I'm not a medical or mental health professional, but I am an advocate. So I sometimes speak on breaking stigmas around mental health and other topics. So yeah, I advocate for people who are learning how to advocate for themselves, because I at one point had to learn how to do that for myself, which is why I'm now a guide. So the Eight of Swords in reverse is getting out of your own mental prison. I don't feel like I'm going to read that in a negative way, because it really does feel like a conclusion. And it's because of this Two of Cups over here. This Two of Cups, this is also a deep soulmate. This is like the ultimate divine union. And we've got Six of Cups, Two of Cups, and the Lovers out here, plus the Four of Wands. So, like, this is a huge turnaround. Like, I really feel like the Six of Wands in reverse up here, the first card out, like, that's no longer, that's in the past. This whole, like, feeling wounded or spiteful, maybe even a little mad about some things, and, like, just like feeling beaten down by the world, and it just, it's like the end of an era. It's some deep healing that happened here. Waters are also very healing, and Two of Cups, again, that can represent a divine counterpart, soulmate, like your person, your freaking person. And again, it's not toxic. It's not, when I say toxic, I just mean it's not with an unhealed person. And I'm seeing Princess of Swords in reverse and the Emperor at the bottom. That's interesting. I'm going to take both of those right on top of the Two of Cups. So, Princess of Swords, that's like not just sitting back and watching anymore and taking authority with the Emperor card. This is something you're feeling very confident about. Maybe it took you a long time to process your feelings and your thoughts, and you had to come around to the idea, but now you're finally moving forward. If we pull the Chariot card, I'm gonna whoop-de-doo for you, let me tell you, because the Emperor drives the Chariot card. I'm just like, is it gonna come out? Ooh, this is exciting. Oh, I'm feeling an excitement now, and I just got chills down my back. That was weird. Okay. I tend to sense things through my body also, as an intuitive, as a psychic. It was like almost like somebody just like touched me in the middle of my back. That was weird. I don't know. That felt like a message for somebody, like maybe someone's like reassuring you very gently with physical affection that like, hey, you know, it's okay. Look at this. Like, just, you're safe. Like, I've got you at your center, at your core. We're good. I don't know. I'm channeling that right now. It feels very awkward for me, but like, that's for somebody. Maybe one of your loved ones, either in soul or in spirit or in physical form that you haven't met yet. I pick up on multiple timelines, so it could be somebody from your past, present, or future, but there's somebody in your energy I'm picking up on very strongly. Oh my goodness. I just pulled the Sun card. And I'm getting more chills. This is one of the coolest readings and happiest readings I have done in a long time, you guys. Excuse me, everyone. The Sun, the King of Wands in reverse. Maybe you shed light on how some of your behavior was kind of angry or aggressive in a way. Yeah, Nine of Swords in reverse. Maybe you felt like you were always under attack, and you realized that maybe you were kind of creating the same destruction that you were experiencing. But you're the Emperor now, so you overcame that, and the Sun is shining here, and oh wow, and it's for the Queen of Cups. I just pulled the Queen of Cups. Now, if you remember back to our Building Foundations Tarot series, and again, that's in the playlist at the end, or in the description box, Queen of Cups was our foundational card, I believe, for the Building Foundations 1. That sounds about right. And it's the mother of all love. It's about unconditional love. So you chose unconditional love. Just let me... I hope that wasn't too loud on the recording, but I wanted to give you some applause, because let me tell you, when you fight with the shadow and you go through dark nights of the soul and you come through spiritual awakenings or ascensions, and anybody who's on a 5D frequency is going to know what I'm putting down. And again, I'll talk about these things on my channel in other days. Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about if you're listening right now, if you're still hanging in. To be able to trust love when you have been dragged through the mud, through life. I'm not going to say any specific situations. Everybody's got their own version of what's not been loving, okay? And, you know, it's like that saying, hurt people hurt other people. Sometimes our wounds, and we do have the Nine of Wands over here in the past, sometimes our wounds get projected onto other people, And it's usually because we haven't slowed down enough, like the hangman here. It's hanging upside down in meditation, receiving epiphanies, taking the time to go inward and tap into that intuitive knowing. And the Queen of Cups also represents that deep intuition. So this is so beautiful. I'm actually like, I'm trying not to cry right now. And the moon is in Cancer. It's not helping, okay? Of course, if you're watching this another time, the moon sign may not matter to you, but everything is energy, so that's the energy that's coloring this reading right now is the Cancer moon, and I happen to be a Cancer rising, so of course I'm channeling, well, Queen of Cups energy, you know, because that is the sign that Queen of Cups rules is Cancer, and other water signs, feminine energies. But anyways, I'm really picking up on wow, like a overwhelming, sentimental, good emotions. Again, here with the Six of Cups over here with the soulmate, deep bond, and then the Two of Cups, it's like, you know, you found something to love. Something that took you through your dark night, that guided you, something that was very hard for you to do, but you're on the other side of it now. I kind of want to see what's going on here with the Emperor, and I think I'm going to switch up the decks. Let me see, where do we want to go? I'm thinking Cosmic Energy Oracle, actually, because I want, see here, the Queen of Cups, the Emperor, and there's the Sun. The Sun is like the happiest card in the deck. That's why, woo, hello, this card just came flying out. Insight. Insight is the fruit of wisdom. Keep a learning attitude. I pulled this in mid-April for the Tarot Moon Day weekly read. Tarot Moon Day is my collective weekly themed reading I do every day of the moon, which is Monday. I did not do one this week because of the holiday. That is why I'm doing a bonus read. And hello, meditation and release just came through. Anyways, that week I did one called Insight Leads to Joy. Check that out in the playlist. It might have some additional messages for you. And then acceptance. Acceptance was also in, I want to say it was in the Wheel of Fortune read. I like to mention energies that feel relevant that we've covered, because sometimes you'll receive additional messages when you go back and rewatch things. I've done that myself, and I'm like, wow, I didn't pick up on that before. It's because you weren't in the right frequency to receive. So, you know, if you feel like doing that, go ahead. If not, no big deal. I just thought I'd mention that. I also sometimes clip side messages out of my readings. So, you know, maybe you'll happen to stumble upon one of those. And if it feels synchronistic, if it feels true, then it's probably true. That's your intuition telling you, your soul guiding you. Love. To love. To love. Love is one of the highest vibrations that you can carry. And if you've decided to choose unconditional love, you are vibrating in love. I think the last reading I mentioned maybe doing some heart chakra openings. So for those of you who listened to me, congratulations, it worked. I'm confirming that right now. It worked. Release here. Release past burdens and embrace new beginnings. And you did that. You did that with this past energy, with the Nine of Wands and the Hangman in reverse. You released past burdens and you are embracing new beginnings. I'm so proud of you, whoever you are, multiple people, for choosing it. In my May Astro Highlights video, I also mentioned that we just had the new moon in Taurus, and that was all about new beginnings, especially with Venus going back into Aries. Aries is the initiator of the zodiac, and Venus is the planet of love. So put those together, and there you go. Congratulations. You're on your way to love. It is a new journey. And it is a blessing. I just pulled the blessing card. Blessings are gifts from the universe. Receive and share them. I think in a prior read we also talked about paying attention to your blessings, like with the Four Cups card. Anyways, you can check out other readings to go into that. We also have meditation. Meditation connects you to your inner self. So you certainly did that. And with the Hangman in reverse, further confirmation that whatever downloads you received in your meditations, you can trust. And you've accepted it, and that has led you to love, because acceptance. Accept others and yourself. Welcome new opportunities. So we got embrace new beginnings and welcome new opportunities. So we've got all that, which is great, with the Emperor. So like the Emperor takes initiative. The Emperor is the ultimate leader in the tarot. I almost said Zodiac because the Emperor also rules Aries. And again, Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of action. So you're ready to be bold, but I feel a little bit of uncertainty here. I'm going to pull from the Herb Crafter's Tarot. Let's see why there is just a tiny bit of hesitancy here. I don't know, it's just an intuitive hit I'm having here. Apologize if the cards were loud to you again. Turn down the volume if you need to. Feel like we might conclude this reading in the next 10 to 15 minutes, but I tend to not exist in time when I do these readings, when I channel. I appreciate everybody who likes to hang in for the full reading. For those of you that have left me comments in the last week, I am going to be responding soon. I'm just getting some more rest today. All right, Emperor, what's going on? Huh. One moment. Okay. All right. Okay. So 9 of Earth in reverse. So 9 of Pentacles in reverse. 6 of Air. Curandera of Earth, and the 3 of Fire in reverse. So that's 9 of Pentacles reverse. 6 of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the 3 of Wands in reverse. It seems that you decided to stop trying to manifest something that was making you not feel very independent and just choose peace to move into smoother pastures, and this put you in the position of the King of Pentacles. And a few readings back, I mentioned the King of Pentacles is what you are aspiring to become. Well, you've also accomplished that. You found some kind of security here, something that you have built, and it could be material, which Pentacles typically are, but it could also be a sense of security within yourself based on prior readings, and also moving into calmer waters with 6 of Swords. That's also like a spiritual journey, a transition. It's intellectual balance. The 9 of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like that's more of a past energy, and same with the 3 of Wands. Excuse me, I'm going to get some tea. One sec. Usually 3 of Wands is a person standing at a cliff watching ships come in. So, you know, you've manifested something and you know that it's coming in. Well, in reverse, it's like you've finally let something go, or you've decided to stop trying to make it happen through your thoughts and actually do something physical here. And the King of Pentacles is a physical sign. The thing about the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, that usually represents, it's like the minor to the Empress energy. So it's feeling very independently wealthy in a sense. Even if you don't have a lot, you have some comforts. You can pay your bills. You can have some things that are nice for yourself. It can also represent a single person, like not in a relationship. So some people would read it in reverse as a negative, like maybe you're attached, maybe you have a partnership, but you've decided to move away from it, and this has made you stable with the King of Pentacles, and you're no longer trying to force any manifestations. This feels like more past energy, so I'm wondering why this is causing some hesitancy with the Emperor, because those are very solid. You even have like great love here with the King of Cups. Adelita of Earth. Okay, so you are coming forward very slowly with something. And that's a Knight of Pentacles card. And in the past we've had the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, so you're no longer being stubborn about something. And it's the High Priestess in reverse. You want to confess something. You want to share secrets with someone. Temperance. This will bring you great balance and healing. Could be an earth angel as well that you want to confess to. Something about your struggles, about why you felt out in the cold with the Five of Pentacles, or how you've lacked in some way. Pretty much possibly how you've had to overcome this lack mindset to become the King of Pentacles. And it's like, we also had the Three of Cups earlier, so you want to celebrate this fact with this this energy. And if it's not a person you're moving towards, it could just be an environment that represents that unity between the here and now and the ethers. Because the Temperance card, like the Star card, shows both figures half in water and half on land. Which also, by the way, now that I just thought of it, this isn't an actual connection in the tarot. This is just a psychic hit. That would be like a crab, like Cancer, right? Being half on land and half in the water, being able to go in and out between being stable and being emotional. And that's also kind of the King of Cups energy, because King of Cups can use their wise mind. And I'm clearing my throat, which means somebody wants to speak up and say something. Could be you. Maybe you're just trying to figure out how. And we have I just pulled the Queen of Swords, Madre of Air card here. So like, you want to say something, you want to use your discernment, you want to be very clear about something in your communication. Wow. And it's the Ace of Pentacles or Ace of Earth here. So you want to communicate some kind of value and offer a gift. You have something you want to offer, and also Spirit is offering you some kind of abundance, because the Ace of Pentacles traditionally is a phantom hand, kind of like in the Four of Cups, right, where it's sticking out, holding this huge gift. And we saw here earlier the Oracle card of blessings, and then we see Eight of Cups in reverse. Wow, Spirit's really speeding up, because we got the Empress card now. And we've got the Four of Wands for the second freaking time. Well, you know, I don't want to make you blush, but again, this could be about something else, but someone's in love. Maybe through finding this like union with yourself and maybe your spiritual beliefs, you finally were able to be in the energy of love, like we talked about earlier, and you're in love, and you're ready to go. I still feel some hesitancy. I don't know why Spirit's making this so hard for us. The Eight of Cups in reverse is like you walked away from something, or I guess some readers on a more shallow level would call that the boomerang card. And the Empress, and then the Sun for the second time. Are you kidding me? So we got, whoo, wow. The Sun twice. Twice! Maybe after leaving something, or again, this could be somebody from your past, hence the boomerang card. You realize they were your foundation, your everything. and the Empress. Like, they are the Empress, which is, like I was just talking about earlier, the version of the Nine of Pentacles upright, only the advanced version. And the Empress, which again, check out my Tarot Talk and Astro Tea Empress 8-part series. Seven of Cups in reverse, so it's there's no longer any options in your mind. You know what the choice is, and it's going to bring you a lot of happiness here with the Sun card. Or they are your sun, maybe they're your light. And man, you know, I said just like at the beginning of my readings a few months ago, I was like, I'm not going to do love readings, and here Spirit's tricking me into doing a freaking love reading. I really had no intention. I thought we were going to talk about spiritual journeys, but it seems like now we're focusing on the sun. By the way, maybe I'll make a separate clip of this, but in the beginning of my my May Astro Highlights video, I did some silly singing, and I was actually singing sun-themed songs. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So the wheel has turned. This is a new cycle. Anyways, yeah, I was singing Here Comes the Sun, and the sun will come out tomorrow, and I was like channeling just this really vibrant, happy energy. And if you're watching this in real time, that was about last Sunday on, I think, the new moon. Yeah, the 27th of April. So that could be relevant. Maybe something happened that day that made you feel really happy, and it helped kind of bring all this together. And if that's so, I mean, it could be then, or it could be whatever time you're watching this. Like, was today Thursday? So like 5 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, maybe 3, up to a week, something significant shifted in your energy here. And it concluded this karmic cycle, the Wheel of Fortune. We sometimes read that card. Again, check out the Wheel of Fortune reading. That might be relevant for personal insight. I get the feeling that Spirit doesn't want me to talk about what you're getting hung up on, because I've asked 3 times now, and they just want to focus on the positive. So I guess just keep focusing on the positive. Don't be toxically positive. What does that mean? There's a difference between working with mantras and convincing yourself to have different beliefs. There's also manifestation techniques where, you know, the law of assumption, you believe it before you see it, and that's actually how you truly manifest. And then there's washing over things and being straight up delulu, as some people would say, where you are not paying attention to the facts and you are just acting like everything is okay, probably rushing around, not being in the present moment. But I'm not picking up that energy at all. Another card wants to come out. We have, wow, we have the Two of Cups in reverse now. Now that's interesting, because we had the Two of Cups upright earlier. Now it's in reverse. Okay, so this is a side message. This is not going to be for everybody. They're going to give me some insight for somebody. Maybe you did not feel like you were in union with yourself. So what does that mean? Maybe you felt like you didn't know yourself, and this entire process opened you up. It seems like someone like cracked your heart open is what happened. Gonna give this a shuffle. Oh my. Oh, Spirit. Okay, so I open the deck up to shuffle and I look, and it's the World card and the Chariot. Was I not just saying if I see the Chariot I was gonna freak out? And it's here with the World. You're going to seize the world, whoever you are, like whatever this is. If it's not about love, again, it could apply to something creative that you're working on. It could have to do with like just like loving life and enjoying experiencing life, being in the present moment. Whatever it is, you're moving forward with it very quickly. So if you felt like you weren't quite yourself, or you weren't sure if you were ready for this, so to speak, which is what I'm picking up as a side message with the Two of Cups in reverse, it's not actually a problem. It's just like it's going to become a distant thought. And with how many positive cards are here, and also with the ravens cawing in the distance over the canyon, that's confirmation. You're protected. You're on the journey. You've overcome your dark night. And if you haven't experienced these things, again, I speak things in multiple timelines, so check it out. If you are watching a video and you're like, oh, that's never going to happen to me, well, then you're probably right. Because our thoughts create our reality, right? And this isn't to shame anybody. It's just, it has to do with energy. It's a frequency thing. And when you work on your frequency, by working on yourself, working with your union with yourself, working with union with spirit, then you are able to integrate different facets of yourself and move forward in your life like the Emperor. And also another note is the chariot can represent like a mobile home, like traveling. It can represent your heart is always with you, that you take it wherever you go. Your home is your heart. Home is where the heart is, etc., etc. And I just pulled, I just pulled the King of Cups again. Oh yeah. Now we've got King of Cups looking at the King of Cups across the table. And this one it's known as curandera of water. And this is a beautiful picture, actually. I'm going to take some of the cards from the spread and the oracle cards and take a picture for everybody. I'll make that the pinned image to this audio recording. Okay, so let's get a little descriptive with this card, and then I think we're pretty much going to conclude it. I don't know, we'll see. So it's a spiritual bath, and as for those of you that don't know what a spiritual bath, it's a deep cleansing bath. Usually that includes a very relaxing candlelit environment, which is kind of where people got that idea originally, was from people who performed spiritual baths. It wasn't just a luxury, it was something that that you did to cleanse and restore yourself. Sometimes it had to be done because of spiritual warfare, so to speak. For those of you that are not pagan, you won't understand this, and that's okay. It's not for you. But those of you that know that those of us that are in that energy have to protect ourselves more. And actually, that could be a message. Maybe a spiritual bath is what you need to fully embody this King of Cups energy. And if you don't have a bath, you can take a spiritual shower, just FYI. Because I've had bathtubs and I've had only shower situations, and I had to learn how to improvise. And a good way to do that is to use Epsom salts, or not Epsom salts, like a salt scrub. And this is one of the things that sometimes I make in my apothecary. I don't have anything right now, but they're essentially like curios items, and you can make them yourself. You don't have to go spend a bunch of money. You can get some thick sea salt. If you have, I wouldn't mess with essential oils if you don't know what you're doing, because they are volatile. But what you could do is take dried herbs, and the dried herbs are if you want to keep this this salt for later, you mix it with, you can even mix it with just like a dollop of coconut oil. If you're allergic to coconut, jojoba oil. You can mix even in some of your body wash that you like to use. You can even enchant your body washes. You can do anything you want. Everything's energy. It's all about your intention and understanding the properties and the energies of things. And you can enchant, empower, activate, manifest through. By the way, manifesting is witchcraft, in case anybody hadn't figured that out yet. I'm a very blunt person, and I felt like I just needed to say that. So back to the spiritual baths. It looks like somebody who is older in age, so it gives the wise crone vibe, pouring a kettle over this bathtub full of herbs, preparing this sacred moment. And earlier we had sacred truth for oracle cards, correct? So let me slow down a little. I feel like before I read this, everybody please take a deep breath, okay? Because even though this is a great reading, it's a little overwhelming with excitement. Okay, ready? Breathe. One more. If you need to ground yourself, I've mentioned how to do that. If you've been following my work, you probably know now. I have a beautiful meditation in my Guided Meditations by Me playlist that I did, I want to say a couple weeks ago. And then I have another one. I'm going to be adding more as I channel them because they're channeled guided meditations. I don't plan anything. Everything's off the cuff with me because I am an intuitive person. So, you know, I'm a multifaceted person and I have a lot of different avenues to share with y'all. So I would appreciate a subscription if you feel like subscribing. It is free. Eventually I'm going to have Patreon, and with the channel expanding in the future, I'll eventually have memberships with specialty content. So there's all kinds of goodies and surprises in store if you're a part of this community over here. I thank you if you are. Alright, do we feel a little more calm? See, grounding, excitement, it's not always negative things that whack us out of balance or unground us. It's like these really exciting emotions too. And it's really great to get wrapped up in that feeling. But if you don't express it or if you don't ground it, it will overwhelm you. And that could be one of the things you might want to consider in going forward on your journey, is being able to ground yourself in real time. Being able to balance yourself in real time. And for those of us that have struggled with emotional regulation due to past energies causing conflicts with our psyche, you know that it's very important to know how to stay balanced. It's okay to get excited and go with the moment, but again, for those of you that were stuck in your head with the Eight of Swords in reverse, that had to be absolute torture to go through that. Absolute torture. I have so much empathy for you. In order for me to be liberated mentally, I had to go through some profound suffering myself, and I've been in those states. And to be able to overcome that in the dark night, again, I'm going to snap instead of clap this time. Good job. Truly. You're officially a soul warrior. Alright, so maybe a spiritual bath would be good for you. That's some spiritual advice, again, or a spiritual shower. If you don't really know much about practicing using energies of plants, again, you're welcome to leave me a comment and I'll see about responding. And if you'd like to book a session with me, I'm taking clients in June. I've got a booking site, or you can email me. And all my prices are available on my booking site in the services tab. Alright, so yeah, this elder person, so it's somebody who's almost taking you through an initiation, so to speak. And beyond the tub is this stone wall that's just a couple inches or a couple feet taller than the bath. And beyond that is the view of it looks like the ocean and mountains just gently behind. There are 2 candelabras with probably beeswax golden candles, a bottle of oil, a black, possibly onyx or obsidian mermaid statue, giant shell, and more candles, vines coming over the edge of the wall, and there's plants everywhere. There's a table in the front of the bath, and it has candles and salts and a towel and soaps and everything you need, right? Someone's guiding you through this process of love, and you're learning how to take care of yourself. And maybe that's why you have so much love for this energy, whether it's a person or a, I want to say passion project, but I feel more like a heartfelt project. This could also be like a family member too. It doesn't have to be love, like I said. This could be somebody that you deeply value, a close friend who has helped you through a very hard time, whether they know it or not. Pardon me, 1 second. Just spritzed one of my shop mists. It's called Bless You. Anyways, felt like there was some karmic energies trying to come in there. So we're going to conclude this here in a moment. This is a beautiful image. I think I'll include this with some of the other ones. Whatever journey you're on, I wish you luck, and I hope it works out for you. I mean, the energy is here for you to be extremely successful, despite coming from a past of not feeling successful, not feeling recognized. I feel like you just having the courage to step forward and like go after what sets your soul on fire, and I'm seeing a red hawk fly above me right now. You're soaring to new heights. You have this new perspective. Your guides are with you. You are strong. You are capable. You are the emperor now, okay? When we started doing these readings, if this is part of this community, this in the collective, then you started off kind of as a page and Knight of Wands. And that was just a couple months ago. You're an emperor now. And I just got chills up and down my arms and legs. You have great power to wield now. So any time you, and here's some regulations, some advocacy, all right? So this is for the part of the community that may struggle with confidence issues, or I mean, you've built this confidence within yourself through this because you are the emperor. So, but if you're struggling with it still, what it is probably, especially if you suffer from, say, emotional flashbacks, and I can get into that more another time, but mostly emotional flashback is where you re-experience a memory which triggers a feeling, or you experience a situation where you relive an emotion from the past, but it feels like the present moment, and it's not. What it is something triggers your nervous system in the current moment, and it's usually when we're facing fears or anxieties, doing the hard thing, taking a chance, choosing to go on faith and be confident that these things are going to get triggered, and it's spirit working with you to help you overcome them. So in the future, or in the near future, or right now, you can take control of your destiny as the emperor. Get in your freaking chariot and make your moves where you want to move them to, wherever you are going. And I do feel like you might be traveling in this journey, because I just saw the Six of Swords again. I just remembered you are moving towards some kind of peace, whether it's actual literal travel or you're traveling through time, which brings me back, hang in there, I'm channeling, it brings me back to the emotional flashbacks, okay? So something I've learned because of working with multiple timelines as a psychic medium and a seer is that sometimes you will get glimpses of the past in the present moment, and like I was saying earlier, it'll feel like it's like a future prediction, and that's when you become hyper vigilant. That's when you double down on bad habits that might block you because you feel like you need to control something, otherwise your life is going to spin out of control. That's emotional dysregulation. That's nervous system going out of whack, going into fight or flight, or freeze or fawn. There's multiple states of consciousness the brain can slip in and out of. Look into neuroscience if you're curious. There's actual brain scans that study this phenomena, okay? So knowing how to calm down your nervous system, there's all kinds of ways to do it. If you are in the moment and you don't have a way to access your usual meditation, sound healing, whatever, this may seem strange, but massage your ears, okay? The vagus nerve is actually in the ears. Why do you think people tug on their ears when they're stressed? It's a subconscious soothing technique. And if you want to know how to do that to be prepared in the future, just look up a quick YouTube video. There's a few out there. So yeah, that's like one technique. Of course, breathing is good. But the point is that when you start to experience these and you work with mindfulness, eventually you get to a point where you can spot it for what it is, and you'll be like, oh, I know what that is. That is a feeling being triggered from the past. I understand it happened because of this. And eventually you'll get to a point where you don't even need to go through that process. You just go, oh, okay, this is an old timeline. So on a mystical perspective, how you deal with old timelines that are no longer serving you is you stop, you take a deep breath, you acknowledge it for what it is, and you say, I release you. Sometimes these timelines or emotional flashbacks, however you want to view them, come up because they need to be released. And the more you get comfortable releasing it, the easier it becomes and the less you have to do it because you become more balanced. I feel like somebody really needed to hear that, and I really hope that helps somebody. Yet again, I'm not a medical or mental health professional, but I do have life experience. I'm a spiritual guide and an advocate for people who are going through these kinds of things, okay? I am writing my story in a book, so eventually I'll publish and y'all can dive through my brain deeper. I think that pretty much concludes our reading. Again, I have no idea how long I've been talking. It is 4:30 on my clock, so at least an hour. Thank you if you hung in. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me about your celebrations if you had any. If you have a special story you want to share about your process, I'd love to hear it. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it in the comments, but you want to connect with me, you are welcome to email me, and I might enjoy reading your stories about your journey. If I can respond, I will. If you want to work with me as a guide, that's something I also do. I also do actually do plant healing. So I have a lot to offer my community, and I really appreciate everybody who's helping build my foundation here. And I try to say our community because I started this for other people. And I try not to be possessive over things, you know what I mean? We have to remember that when you hold on to energy like the Four of Pentacles card and the negative connotation, you suffocate them, you compact them, you try to put things in a box, and then they can't grow and expand. And usually what people are attracted to in other people or projects or, whatever, is the ability to expand with them, right? So remember that. If you struggle with confidence issues, or you might be a little possessive and you're aware of this, just remember that the most beautiful things in life are free. And that it's probably something about yourself that you're projecting onto whatever that is, about you not feeling free in a way. Which can be careful, because that can lead to jealousy and envy with other people, where you might be supportive and happy for other people going through things and succeeding. Sometimes we can throw evil eye on other people. So, call your projections back. You can transmute them. And if you're interested in me teaching these things, let me know. I've taken up enough of your time. I deeply, deeply appreciate everyone, truly. And as a last note, I'll just say that I will eventually be filming again. It's just much better quality audio on this recorder. I know some of you also appreciate the black screen. And who knows, maybe one day I'll have a podcast. You never know. I am welcome being on your podcast if you're interested. Alright, I'm going to leave it on that. This is Ellie signing off. Happy Beltane, everyone, and bye.